Okay, I've been reading through Revenge of the Sith, and there was a couple things or passages that I wanted to go through, and I wanted to kind of talk about the contrast between Obi-Wan and Anakin and how their dynamic kind of works. This first one is talking about Obi-Wan, and it's kind of described. Each passage that I'm going to read is going to kind of describe Obi-Wan and Anakin. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi, a phenomenal pilot who doesn't like to fly, a devastating warrior who'd rather not fight, a negotiator without peer who frankly prefers to sit alone in a quiet cave and meditate. Jedi Master, General in the Grand Army of the Republic, member of the Jedi Council, and yet, inside he feels like he's none of these things. Inside, he still feels like a Padawan. It is a truism of the Jedi Order that a Jedi Knight education truly begins only when he becomes Master. That everything important about being a Master is learned from one student. Obi-Wan feels the truth of this every day. He sometimes dreams of when he was a Padawan. In fact, as well as feeling, he dreams that his own master, Qui-Gon Jinn, did not die at the plasma fuel generator core in Theed. He dreams about his master's wise guiding hand. His wise guiding hand is still with him, but Qui-Gon's death is an old pain, one with which he long ago came to terms. A Jedi does not cling to the past, and Obi-Wan Kenobi knows, too, that to have lived his life without being master to Anakin Skywalker would have left him a different man, a lesser man. So, Obi-Wan and Anakin are kind of opposites. They complement each other. They clash in ways that make them unbeatable together. They're kind of a balanced system, not rivals in a way, if you're familiar with Star Wars. I'll read this next section. It is as though Anakin has rubbed off on him a bit and has loosened that clenched jaw insistence on absolute correctness that Qui-Gon always said was his greatest flaw. So Obi-Wan is definitely uptight, and he's by the book. He wants the Force to just guide him through every situation. Obi-Wan isn't the strongest guy in the room, he's the steadiest. Alright, I'm going to jump over to Anakin. This is Anakin Skywalker, the most powerful Jedi of his generation, perhaps of any generation. The fastest, the strongest, the unbeatable pilot, an unstoppable warrior. On the ground, in the air, or sea, or space, there is no one even close. He has not just power, not just skill, but dash, that rare, invaluable combination of boldness and grace. He is the best there is at what he does, the best there has ever been, and he knows it. HoloNet features call him the hero with no fear, and why not? What should he be afraid of? Fear lives inside him anyway, chewing away the firewalls around his heart. Anakin sometimes thinks of the dread that eats at his heart as a dragon. Children on Tatooine tell each other the dragon that lives inside the sun, smaller cousins of the sun dragons, are supposed to live inside the fusion furnace that power everything from starships to pod racers. But Anakin's fear is another kind of dragon, a cold kind, a dead kind, not nearly dead enough. Not long after he became Obi-Wan's Padawan, all those years ago, a minor mission had brought them to a dead system, one so immeasurably old that its star had long ago turned to a frigid dwarf of hypercompacted trace metals, hovering a quantum fraction of degree above absolute zero. Anakin couldn't even remember what the mission might have been, but he'd never forgotten that dead star. It had scared him. Stars can die. It is the way of the universe, which is another manner of saying that it is the will of the Force. Obi-Wan had told him, everything dies. In time, even stars burn out. This is why Jedi form no attachments. All things pass. To hold on to something, or to someone, beyond its time is to set your selfish desires against the Force. That is the path of misery, Anakin. The Jedi do not walk it. That is the kind of fear that lives inside Anakin Skywalker, the dragon of that dead star. It is an ancient, cold, dead voice within his heart that whispers all things die. I don't know. It's just something about Anakin has raw power. He's decisive, aggressive. He's more emotional and passionate than Obi-Wan or the Jedi, seems you ought to be. He'll push limits. He acts fast and he thinks later, kind of thing. Anakin is like the engine. He's momentum. Obi-Wan gives direction. Anakin provides force. Obi-Wan keeps Anakin from going too far, while Anakin keeps Obi-Wan from playing it too safe. One plan, one executes, kind of given. There's like a give and a take there. That tension, or give and take, makes them great in war, but dangerous in peace. It's just crazy how two totally opposites can come together and work cohesively. It's about balance. Everything's got to have a balance. Balance isn't about sameness, it's about friction. So, yeah, I don't know. This was kind of, I don't know, this book is interesting if you've watched Star Wars before. I haven't read a lot of their books. I've read some of the High Republic books. But anyways, that's what I've been thinking about reading this book. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys in the next video.